My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is August 22nd, 2024. It is 2:46 a.m. This is video number 2. Video number 1 was on PYTE. I was talking about Harry and Meghan, obviously. And there were some politics tweets that were on my list. And I was like, you know what? Let me separate them. Because I just didn't want to mix them. Okay, 4,428 subscribers. New subscribers welcome. Estimate revenue, $77.63. Analytics, 681 views in the last 48 hours. I don't understand. My subscription is going up, but for some reason my views is just keeping going down. And this is what they tell me here. Your channel got 25,000 plus views in the last 28 days. So what's going on with the revenue? Anyway, so let's go on Twitter. This is not on my list, but I was just looking at that little girl. I'm assuming this is her classroom, and this is where she captured Meghan's and will not let Meghan get out of her sight. This little girl is something. I just love her. But anyway, let's go to the first tweet. First tweet. Alright, so there's this here. Let's pause. British media and the royal family create a toxic work environment that led to Harry and Meghan leaving. No reputable employer talks to the media via nameless, faceless source, and certainly not assassinate the character of the employee for public consumption. Okay, that's a breach of professional ethics. I just saw it. I added, but that's not what the video will be focusing on, since it has to do with media. But I'm more gonna talk about politics. They did all of that so Meghan will leave, but Has was expected to stay, just like the first Duke of Sussex, and Meg, along with Archie, will be wiped out of their history book. But Has said, "I'm out." I side-eye Queen Elizabeth II, who gave them that dukedom because they plan on history repeating itself. So what, I don't know. I know there was one person who was the Duke of Sussex. So what was the history of that person? I'm curious. Let me look it up. So I Google what happened to the first Duke of Sussex. The Duke of Sussex died age 70 of erysipelas at Kensington Palace in 1843. In his will, he specified that he was not to have a state funeral and was accordingly buried at Kensal Green Cemetery on 4 May 1843. Okay, so, alright. Prince Augusta died London. Okay. His title, the Duke of Sussex, expired with him until Queen Elizabeth revived it for her grandson. Harry's wife, Meghan Markle, is the first Duchess of Sussex, which means the outspoken mixed-race American has made history once again. Okay, but the history behind, okay, so let's see here. The history behind the Sussex dukedom is less scandalous, but not without controversy. There was only one previous Duke of Sussex, Prince Auguste Frederick, the ninth child of King George III. The title became vacant upon his death in 1843. Who was the first? Okay, let me leave that alone. If I find something later on, I'll share it with you, but never mind, I'm wasting time. So while I'm editing the video, this question popped up in my mind. I was like, what are the similarities between the first Duke of Sussex and the second? So this is what I found. The title was first given to Augustus, the sixth son of King George III in 1801, and the two dukes have some things in common, not least a rebellious streak, like Harry. Augustus married an older woman with a mind of her own. However, he had not been given permission by his father to marry Augusta Murray. But based on what I'm seeing with Harry, it seems like they were okay with it. or they pretend to be okay with it, because there's Charles who walked Meghan down the aisle, and you have Meghan and Harry who did not want to have a big state wedding, but the family insists of them having it, right? But later on we see all the debacle which led to Harry and Meghan to leave the UK. Okay, so there's this here, who were the first Duke and Duchess of Sussex. In 2018, when Prince Harry, grandson of Queen Elizabeth, married Meghan Markle, he received a special title, Duke of Sussex. This title was brought back just for him. As the previous Duke lived a long time ago, Meghan, his wife, became the first ever Duchess of Sussex. Okay, so Meghan became the first. The reason the other one then become the first, because they didn't recognize the other one, right? To have something in common, not least a rebellious streak, like Harry, Augusta met an older woman, okay, with a mind of her own. However, he had not been given permission by his father to marry Augusta Moray. Okay, so that was that. Okay, so I knew there was something that was somewhat similar, but when I was first recording, I wasn't thinking of that particular question to ask Google. All right, so that's that. Let's go back to the original recording. All right, so the first Duke of Sussex, bullseye. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet that I'm gonna share with you. So there's that. This one, I share it on that first video, and the reason I'm sharing it is because this is a page out of Harry and Meghan's playbook, where Harry and Meghan don't interact with the toxic British media. So it seems like Kamala Harris is taking the same page out of Harry and Meghan's playbook. And this is an influencer. I don't know him. It's just someone who tagged me on, and I wanted to share it with you, just in case you're not subscribed to PYTE. I'm sharing here. Alright, same goes to toxic British media. Members of the press have lost their effing minds, complaining that content creators are at the DNC. I got a message for them. All right, so the DNC is the Democratic National Convention. This is a convention that is taking place in Chicago right now. Okay, so let's listen to this.
Members of the press have lost their fucking minds. This tweet is going viral right now because apparently the press is pissed off that content creators are at the DNC. They see it. They feel what the fuck is happening. Their obsolete asses are being replaced, and they hate it. And by the way,
okay, so the same playbook that's been going on in the UK, where the mainstream media is controlled by whoever the elites people, they tell you BS and whatever. So Americans see the BS is being played, and this is why one of the reason my channel exists, and many others who more knowledgeable, who's more into the politics of things, who goes in full detail, who could tell you all the votes that's happening in Washington and all of that. I don't follow all of this to the T, but I'm aware of stuff. So when many of these creators see what's happening and mainstream media is not reporting on it, they took it upon themselves to let people know this is what's happening. So now with the mainstream media just spewing BS, in one of my videos recently where I spoke about what's his name, O'Donnell on MSNBC, was very upset that the station that he worked for did not even show Kamala Harris rally when they knew in advance that she was gonna be there. And then Trump, out of nowhere in his home in Mar-a-Lago, decided to do a press conference that was talking about BS, okay, to take the spotlight away from Kamala Harris. So O'Donnell was very upset about that. Mainstream media is being, putting people in the dark, the same way that Bojo's sister keep on saying about the US and France type of journalism is not entertaining and all of that.
I don't want the press to be in the last chance saloon at all. I want to see newspapers thrive. This is my industry, and I think it's in all our interests that we have a thrive. And we got the most wonderful newspapers in the world in this country. You read the newspapers in the States or in France, they're very dull. They're not entertaining at all. I think that we can have both a serious and an entertaining press.
So now they are doing the entertaining aspect of things. People are walking away from it. So Kamala Harris took a page out of Harry and Meghan's playbook. So you want to play BS? So fine, go do your thing and we'll do our thing. Instead, the people who are talking about the substance of things that will help people understand, content creators, so they invite them to the RNC so they could have content to share with their viewers. Okay, so that's what's happening here. So let's listen.
Content creators have been telling me as we go through the day that they've been getting side-eyed by members of the press when we've been creating content on the blue carpet and interviewing elected officials and celebrities in the hallways. Let me explain something to you motherfuckers. For members of the press that still don't get it, yes, y'all are being put on fucking notice. See, the reality about social media platforms and their algorithms is that with one tweet or one video, I could pull millions of views. Like here, 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 and here. You get the point. See, y'all can only dream of getting that nightly on your shows. I can get it in minutes. And you can't motherfucking take it. See, the cohort of content creators that were invited to this convention are the good ones who have been recognized for their continual coverage of the issues that matter most to people. See, the difference between us and you is that y'all are lazy and sensationalist. You report information.
You guys, I don't know. I don't interact with British medias or whatever. Some people in the UK should send this to Bojo's sister. All right, because this is what she wanted American news media to be entertaining. So we're walking away from it. All right, they want eyeballs to watch their things. So if you're putting BS and there's no eyeballs to watch your BS, so you're gonna have to go back to principles and ethics. People want ethics, understanding. Tell us the news. Don't create some BS and tell us nothing. And one of the problems that Russia's going through here, okay, the lies they keep on telling people, and it's very dangerous. We're lying to people. Because when you're lying to people, they don't know the truth. They don't know how to prepare themselves. And then when the war's coming at their doorstep, and they're surprised. Lying to people is not healthy at all. So now there's Ukraine is at their doorstep, literally in Russia. Okay, they're taking the war into Russia. Now people are fleeing. Meanwhile, when they were, flattened buildings in Ukraine, they were not telling the truth. Okay. So now that Ukraine is fighting back, is bringing the war at their doorstep, they all surprised. When they were flattening Ukraine, they know nothing about it. Alright, they were entertaining, they were joining, they thought it was a good thing, and all of a sudden, now that Ukraine is turning the table on them, going to them, all of a sudden they're surprised. If the truth was being told to the people, to the public, know what's going on, the movement of things. I understand it's a war, you can't say everything because your enemy will be watching too. But still, at least the people will know how to position themselves when things are happening. But all of a sudden, they're surprised. Okay, lying to people is not healthy. So I went off the different branch, but let's continue.
And spin it to rile up groups of people in hopes to get clicks and views. We combat misinformation and raise awareness to the issues that matter most to our people. You see how that works? Clearly it's more effective because we got your motherfucking seats. Prime example, y'all being mad we took your seats and talking about that as opposed to the issues. And the powerful speeches that we've been hearing on the convention is while y'all are in the fucking nosebleeds right now. And fucking good. More of your seats should be gutted until you get with the fucking program. And no shade, if we being all the way real, the content creator area should have been reserved seats for every single content creator there. End of story. Oh, and by the way, I'm on my way to the fucking convention center right now. So pull up to me and tell me that I don't motherfucking belong there. Because as the saying goes, if you got something to say it to my motherfucking face.
Alright, so there's that.
Members,
there's my comment here. When there's an action, there's always a reaction. That's us in the USA. In the UK, action equal fall in line. Kamala Walsh took a page out of Harry and Meghan's playbook for sure. As far as I'm concerned, Kamala and Walsh have not sat down with any mainstream media for a sit-down interview. If there was one, I didn't see it. And I think in there, I'm not gonna go through all of the comments. Someone put a video where he's in that clip. Alright. Let's pause here. Hey Brian, there's this. I'm sending you this clip where you appear during Obama's speech. It's from NBC. I think the timestamp is at the end. Hope you're having a great time. We got your back. F the haters. Alright. So it's somewhere here. Let's see.
Not want to live in a...
Oops.
We share the same pride
Let's
when our Olympic athletes compete for the gold.
There he is.
The vast...
There he is here. That's him. Alright, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. And I think this has to do with the DNC, the National Convention. Okay, so this one I just saw. So let's play it. This just play at the DNC. It's 1 minute and 3 seconds.
Have you ever discussed Special Counsel Mueller or his investigation with anyone?
Could you repeat that question?
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir? Seems you'd remember something like that.
I don't know.
Please answer the question.
Senator, I think I've answered the question.
No, you've not.
I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now. Never mind.
Let's move on.
Alright, so Trump want the things to go to the Supreme Court, and we the people gonna have to make sure we vote in full numbers, more than what happened in 2020, to send the message they cannot steal it, even though, because there's some state, I think they already had their things going on. We want to vote in full numbers where they cannot steal, or their plan does not work. All right, there's this here. She had them like, listen, I saw a video of him now. He's growing up. They were talking about this video.
Have you ever had a dream that you want.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Have you ever?
That's that. Let's leave that alone. Let's go to the next one. That was supposed to be the tweet that I start with, but I saw a couple things after I finished my last video, so I added to the list, and there it is here. Yeah, Gina Torres, Meghan Markle's managing partner, is at the DNC. Alright, so she's a professor at let me see if it's in her profile. Stoke Professor Law, NYU Law. Okay, so she teaches law at NYU. So she is one of the coolest Squaddy on Twitter. I follow her, and sometimes she's on MSNBC, that's a station in the USA. So take let's say when someone is out or something, she will replace them or something. So she's cool like that. Alright, so there it is here. Alright, I love that. You're also smart and so regular. Alright, putting this on my resume. So cute. You are a true blood Squaddy. You found our Rachel Zane's boss. Okay, lovely. Oh, we won't be hearing the end of this. That woman been fine my whole life. Professor Moray, can't you all bring my auntie Maya Wiley to the suit, please? She's the voice of the street. But Jessica Pearson was from Chicago. The question is, where is Mike and Harvey? I will always remember Gina from her iconic character of Anna Esperanza on Alias. Okay, I love her. A big damn hero. Firefly, Serenity. Okay, so there's all of that. Okay, I just wanted to share that with you, the image. Next tweet. And I think this one is a long video, and I think this is why that made me wanted to create this video by itself. I didn't hear the video, but it's just a bit long. Yeah, 6 minutes 11 seconds. This explains why Trump wants to lose the election. Everybody needs to watch this full video. Okay, I'm gonna interrupt in between. It's probably somewhere on Twitter, on YouTube, so go watch it fully, and there will be a screenshot. Let's listen. Let me see if she says something about the 2000 election where it went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave it to George Bush.
But I said there's a lot going on at the surface level, in terms of donors and campaign positions and campaign strategy and the way they're behaving in public. There's a lot that is weird about this campaign thus far. But there is one last thing in terms of the weirdness of this campaign that I think is actually quite serious. You probably heard this weekend that Donald Trump told an audience on Friday night that if they vote for him this November, if he's voted back into office this November, they will never have to vote again. He told an audience on Friday to, quote, get out and vote just this time. He said after this time, quote, you won't have to do it anymore. You won't have to vote anymore. He said, quote,
this is an old video. August 21st, yesterday they posted that. I heard that before. Did I share this already? But let's continue.
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good, and you're not going to have to vote. Now, this is not the first time Trump has told a campaign audience that they will never have to vote again once they vote him back in this time. And that is as alarming as it sounds for all the reasons that you immediately think it is, right? I mean, he's positing this like this is a happy thing. Oh, joy, never having the burden of voting again, right? The point of democracy is that we vote all the time, and we like it. That's how we decide what happens in our country. He's promising his followers that he'll end all of that. And it's exactly what you think it is. But let me also point out something more strange, which has been happening at the same time and it hasn't had as much attention. The day before Trump made those remarks on Friday he said, you're never going to have to vote again after you vote for me this one time. The day before that, on Thursday last week, he didn't say that people wouldn't have to vote anymore once he was elected this November. No, the day before that, on Thursday, he told his supporters, not that they're not going to have to vote again, but that they don't have to vote this time. That they don't need to vote for him this November.
My instruction, we don't need the votes. I have so many votes.
My instruction, we don't need the votes. I have so many votes. He said that on Thursday last week. And it turns out this is something, when you look, he says this all the time now. Watch.
That's why he doesn't even bother saying his plan or how he's gonna. Well, we already know Project 25. That's one thing. But when he goes to rallies or whatever, he just mumbling BS after BS. Nothing about plans of how he's gonna move the country forward or anything like that. He doesn't need to. If he had the thing fixed already, so what's the plan? Okay? He doesn't need to tell the people a damn thing. Just mumbling, wasting people's time.
My instruction, we don't need the votes. I have so many votes.
We don't need votes. I tell my people, I don't need any votes. We got all the votes we need. I don't need votes.
We don't need votes. We got more votes than anybody's ever had.
You don't have to vote. Don't worry about voting. The voting, we got plenty of votes.
Don't worry about voting. Of all the weirdness around this campaign, this is a truly strange thing to tell people, right? Don't vote. I don't need your vote. I don't want your vote. I mean, all the surface level weirdness is, worth noting. Having a new position on literally anything you can think of as soon as any random rich guy tells you to, that's a weird thing. Picking the eccentric billionaire's intern for your running mate, even though you apparently had no idea who he was or what a disaster he is on television, all of this is weird. But telling voters, do not bother to vote for me, it doesn't matter if you do, I don't need your votes. That is a thing that should prick up your ears. Because what that means is that he doesn't think he needs to win the vote to win the election. He doesn't think he needs to win the election in order to take power. He thinks something other than votes is going to determine whether or not he gets back in the White House. At Rolling Stone today, they profile 70 different election officials who have been put into position in the swing states of Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, who are election denialists, committed election denialists. Officials that have been put in place in all of those swing states to make sure that election results, no matter what they are, do not get certified in those states this year. Quote, at least 22 of these election officials have already refused or delayed certification processes in recent elections. According to Democratic election lawyer Markle, quote, I think we are going to see mass refusals to certify the election in November. quote, Republicans are counting on not just that they can disrupt the election in big counties, they're counting on the fact that if they don't certify in several small counties, you can't certify statewide results. 70 officials in place across just the swing states. For all the surface level weird behavior and language and strange choices and incoherence and odd donors in the Republican campaign, the serious core at the heart of it is that they are not planning on the vote being counted as normal. They are not counting on the election results being tallied as normal. They are not counting on the vote. And in fact, Trump is now repeatedly saying the vote will not matter. He doesn't even want your vote. The Republicans are counting on the election results not being certified, thereby creating chaos in Washington around the results. Just like 2020, right? Just like January 6, 2021, except this time with no Mike Pence in the way and with Republican officials already in place in multiple states saying, yeah, you may not get any sort of official vote. The weirdness of this campaign is astonishing 99 days out. The dislocation from real campaigning, though, the dislocation from actually asking people for their votes, that means something. It means they are not trying to win this thing in a normal way. So 99 days out, as Democrats stand up what by all accounts looks like a juggernaut traditional campaign under Kamala Harris, are they prepared for this level of weirdness after the votes are cast? Are they ready for what's coming?
Alright, what is that now? Okay, here's another one from yesterday where he asked people to donate, but it's not necessary because he's going to win anyway. He's telling people everything. There are no coincidences. Something is cooking in the higher Christian nationalist movement headquarters, and Trump is parroting what he's told. Okay, 35 seconds.
Hello, everyone. I only want you to donate to my campaign if you can afford to. Unfortunately, most of you can't afford to because Joe Biden is a disaster as a president, the worst ever, and Kamala's worse than he is. He's actually worse. More evil, more committed.
I don't even want to listen to this. All right, let's go to the next tweet. What is that? 34. Next tweet. This is very scary. I hope President Biden has something in store for what's to happen. Okay, can't get enough. Here's that moment from Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson during his state's roll call, DNC. 49 seconds.
From the bluffs of Memphis to the peaks of Mountain City, the movement for justice rooted in love in Tennessee is still strong. It is a movement where kids are free from gun violence, a movement where women have the right to choose, a movement where working people get access to economic opportunity, a movement where those who have been pushed to the periphery are brought to the center, a movement where those who have been pushed down are lifted up. It is alive in Tennessee because we believe that justice will roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream, which is why we are so proud to have been the first state in the union to have pledged all of our delegates to Kamala D. Harris.
Alright, so that's that. I spoke about him once before. That's when the state and Tennessee, they remove him from his position. He was democratically elected, and some disagreement was happening on the floor. They kick him out, and then they put him back. I think the governor, I forgot how it went, some of you could correct me on it. Reinstate him, and then he run again for his position, and he won again. All right, so that's him. I may have missed a couple things here and there, but that's what happened in Tennessee. Okay, me either. What a fun night. Okay, so let's go to the next one. I didn't go into that to go read more comments, but let's finishing up. Next tweet. This was fun to listen to. I cheered. Breaking, Michelle Obama just lay into Donald Trump like no one has before. Retweet to make sure all Americans see this take down. Okay, 1 minute and 27 seconds. I didn't put the part where Barack Obama was talking about crowd size. That was the most fun thing for me.
Now, unfortunately, we know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. That the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs. It's his same old con.
Alright, so that's that. Okay. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. And don't forget to check my shop, Zazzle. I have some puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, and my other shop, Squad shop. It's linked to this channel, so check them out. Thank you for your support.